Hey everyone, welcome to another Stonehearth Desktop Tuesday, in which we give you a look at something in the game or something the team is actively working on, even if that thing won't make it into the game for some time yet. This week and next week, I'd like to show you one of these second things, a long-term project that Allie and Angelo have been working on and off behind their work on happiness traits and conversations, and that still has a lot of work needed on it before we see it in the game. This is their work on darkness and light, especially how it manifests itself at nighttime. In the updated roadmap we posted 2 weeks ago, you may have noticed the mission Surviving versus Thriving. This means that we would like surviving in the wild to be one tier of challenge, and overcoming that to instead thrive and flourish as another tier of challenge. Under that mission is an entry for darkness. Darkness means that one way we could make Hearthling survival a challenge is to introduce the concept of darkness to Hearthlings, monsters, and animals. Perhaps some monsters only spawn or approach in the dark. Perhaps your Hearthlings become afraid if they spend too long in dark places. Maybe some items can only be crafted in light or dark places. One way you might know that your town is thriving is that you've gotten enough resources to cover your village in beautiful lanterns. None of this design is at all finalized yet, which is why it's still in the proposed section of the roadmap, but lights and shadows are sufficiently huge rendering projects, and our engine is so custom that it made sense for artist Allie to start looking at how darkness and light might be effectively portrayed in the game way in advance, just in case our ideal solution was not realizable, or in case we discovered that it would take months of rendering work to achieve. Allie and Richard first decided that light is such a fundamentally visual concept that lit areas should be obvious in the world, without a special game overlay. This led Allie to these very first early explorations of what it might look like if the area lit by a lamp was very obviously denoted. Because light is something our eyes intuitively understand, though, we soon got into hairy territory. What happens if the lights are different colors? And why was it that when we blended yellow lights with our green ground, we got a really acidic green instead of a warm and cozy orange? Green is a ghostly color, Allie said, and quite frankly, despite our best efforts, the Ascendancy houses look kind of haunted at night. The orange cube knitters in the fire help a little, but not nearly enough. Raya's Children is in a bit of a better place because their lights are red and the desert is gray, but Allie felt strongly that not only could she use light to show lit areas, that she could also dramatically improve the tone of the game by altering how light and color interacted with the world. Allie's first job was to define for herself what tone she wanted Stonehearth's nighttime to have. Our game is supposed to be cozy, heroic, and mysterious, so a super dark or scary nighttime was completely out. Instead, nighttime should be tranquil, with cozy lit areas and mysterious dark places. She looked to Arthur Rackham, a childhood favorite, for inspiration, in particular the fact that his nighttime scenes had very bright skies. She also looked at real-world examples of towns that radiated warm colors. Failure, she felt, would be if the town is so brightly lit that it felt washed out. She started with a picture of a town at night and started to paint over it, adding a very bright starlit sky, washing the whole environment with a soft moon blue, and turning the lamps into sparks of yellow. The resulting scene, however, did not satisfy the gameplay goal of letting the player know which areas were lit and which were not, so she began to increase the impact of the radius of the light around the lanterns and to turn down the ambient blue of the surrounding areas. Allie was concerned, though, that this picture still did not provide enough information to the player as to what areas were lit and what weren't. I mean, if a Hearthling might someday be in danger because they're in the dark as opposed to in the light, you, the player, should clearly see where one ends and one begins, right? So she started to experiment with making the edges of the lit areas distinct. Would lit regions merge together, overlap, form spirograph patterns? Allie now calls these experiments big dumb circles because, first of all, if you zoom out, all you see are giant circles, which isn't adorable and cozy at all, and second of all, because they did the opposite of the original goal, which is to convey lit areas naturally, without needing a special game vision mode to see them. Instead, we're putting the game vision mode into the scene permanently. In the end, Allie settled on this solution, which is to make the lit areas of the game a paler ambient color than the surrounding darkness. The brightness does not come directly from the lights themselves, it's more of an ambient brightness, but it allows for beautiful and brightly colored lights and also the clear communication of what is lit and what is not. Due to the fact that lights are complicated and we use a custom engine, it was not at all clear at this point as to whether it was even feasible to get the look from Allie's picture into Stonehearth. So next week, let's take a look at how engineer Angelo went about prototyping Allie's nighttime suggestions into the actual engine. For a sneak peek at this, you can take a look at the stream they did together last Thursday on www.twitch.tv/Stonehearth. And that's it for this week. Let us know what you think here in the comments or in our forum at discourse.stonehearth.net. You can also find us on Twitch. A different member of our team streams their current projects and development every Thursday at 6 p.m. PST on our Twitch channel, www.twitch.tv/Stonehearth. See you next week!